Hello again, and welcome at last to another Nick Beck's Watch Reviews. Sorry I haven't been on for a while now, what with the pandemic and all sorts going on in the world. I haven't had the time, and I haven't really bought a new watch. So this is the first new watch in quite a while. However, my interest is still there. But going back to the pandemic, I hope everybody's safe. I've now had my first jab. Little bit uncomfortable for the first few days, had a bit of a flu, but got over it pretty quickly. So I urge everybody, you know, get that jab done, because I'm sure it will help us all get back to some kind of normality. I can see the country kind of rushing back, and that's a good thing. Anyway, aside from me putting the worlds to rights, let me start as usual by saying thank you to all my brand new subscribers, all your feedback, all your likes, dislikes, and all your kind of everything you've given me. I'm really, really chuffed. Thank you to all my existing subscribers. As ever, you ladies and gentlemen have been wonderful, and I am so grateful. And I'm kind of pushing the 500 subscribers mark now, and that's really exciting for me, because this was always going to be a bit of a hobby. And if I got 2 or 3 subscribers, bearing in mind 2 or 3 members of family, probably I'd be really chuffed with that. So thanks everybody. It's really, really good. I'm really chuffed. Anyway, moving on. This is my new Casio edifice. This is the EQB-900D-1AER smartphone link Bluetooth watch. I've actually been after this watch for quite a while now. It's a discontinued model, so it's actually quite difficult to come by. Luckily, just recently, Ernest Jones had a sale, and I guess they kind of dug through their warehouse and found some old watches in boxes, and found a few of these for sale. So I got it at a fantastic price. I got it for £180. It was down from 300. So I'm really, really chuffed with it. It's a really nice watch. Been after one of these for a long time, since I had the blue racing time lap watch. Going on to the stats of the watch, this one has a case size of approximately 43 millimeters. We have 100 meters water resistant, so I'm sure it'd be fine for swimming and whatnot. The case depth is 13 millimeters. It's a solar powered watch. According to the stats online on the Casio website, it has a 20 millimeter bandwidth, but I can sort of measure it at 22, so I think it's a little bit larger. But I doubt you'd want to change the strap anyway, because the bracelet really looks nice on the watch. As you can see, there's lots of little sort of details which I will go through. But let me just first of all say the lug to lug is approximately 52, so it's quite a big watch, but it doesn't seem to wear huge, and I will show you some wrist shots. It has an alarm, auto calendar, world time up to 300 different countries, stopwatch. It has a backlight. As I say, it's Bluetooth. It has a phone finder, which is quite a handy thing. And although I won't actually show you how all these things work, what I'll do is I'll put up the different app pages so you can have a look for yourself. Because if I start trying to explain these things, I'm rubbish with technology. I will put my hands up to that. I bought the watch, as you all know, because it looks nice, and I think it really does look nice. And just one final thing, it has, I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this, it has a backlight. Anyway, let me, without further ado, as I keep saying, pick up the watch and show you around it. So, here it is, the Casio Edifice Bluetooth phone link watch. As you can see, it has a very, very kind of dark charcoal, almost black dial. You have sword hands with, there's a little bit of lume on them, but I've got to be honest, it's not the best lume I've ever seen. It's certainly not anywhere with a Seiko or a Citizen or anything like that. But that said, it has a backlight, so I guess you wouldn't really need lume on it that bright. It's okay, but it's, you know, it's not a lume monster. I know One More Watch always has the lume wars. Well, this isn't going to win anything. So, as you can see, it's got a kind of 3D, if I bring it up to the camera there, it's got a 3D dial, and on there you have a sub-dial which at the moment is being used for world time down at the 6 o'clock. You have the top dial up at 12 o'clock is days of the week, and as you can see it's Saturday. And then you have a third kind of semicircle kind of crescent dial, and that shows you your Bluetooth settings. And there's a tiny little dial with, I think that says, it looks like a D and A, or maybe an R and A. Now, I don't actually know what that means, so if somebody would be kind enough to post that for me, I'd be really pleased, because I've got no idea. As you can see, at the 4 o'clock, you have a date function, and it's a negative date, so you can see it very clearly. And you have on and off just there, which if I just tilt the watch, there it is. As I say, I'm rubbish with these things. That's the Bluetooth button on the side, which tells you whether the Bluetooth is on and off. You have a pop-out crown with the Edifice logo, and various buttons for your different settings, and of course top button, probably the most important button for sort of old-fashioned geeks like me. You have your backlight, and I'll show you some photographs of the backlight in better detail. So you have lots of kind of, I don't know what that colour is. I guess it's like a pale lime green second hand, and a couple of pale lime green details with a smaller hand for the day of the week, and the hour hand on the, there we go, and bring it back, and the hour hand on the world time. And there's just a kind of, you know, a couple of little details with that green colouring. You have these wonderful kind of mirror glass, if you like, raised indices, and they're really 3D, and you have the split one at 12 o'clock. And there are some lume pips around the edge, but like I say, the lume is nothing to write home about. But, you know, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, you know, not like a Seiko. On the outer bezel, you have the tachymeter. And as you can see, most of the watch is actually highly polished. And a lot of people don't like that because they think it's a scratch magnet. But it doesn't really bother me. I actually find that you don't see the scratches so much. You've got a mineral glass, and it's a flat crystal. Like I say, you've got various different buttons on the side. So let me just turn the watch to the side and show you if I can get it into focus. There we go. The detailing. Now the polishing on this is really, really nice. I was really impressed with the polishing. It's got a real kind of professional look about it. Let me flip it over to the other side there, and there we go. Let's come into focus. There we go. You got your Bluetooth logo on your Bluetooth button, and another button up the top. Now on the back of the watch, let me just move that box out of the way, because I think that's actually taking that's better. Yeah, I still left the stickers on there because the watch is brand new, and you can see on each quarter you've got the different functions telling you what does what on there we go, on the back. You've got these kind of half solid end links. The case back is screw down, or it's actually got 4 sort of macro screws there. But it's a solar watch, so you know, with a couple of hours of charging, it lasts for 6 months, I believe, probably more than that. I've got it in the watch box upstairs, and when I open the watch box, I think the watch goes to sleep, and immediately it's very much like the blue one I had. It just flicks back to the time. So you have the Casio Edifice logo on the 3 o'clock, and it's a Bluetooth Tough Solar. So moving on to the bracelet, you've got this kind of central link polishing, and outer link to match the rest of the watch is brushed. You have, these are, let me get that into focus. We don't seem to be doing focus. There we go. These are pin and cuff. Now I will show you some photographs, because when you're adjusting this, like I didn't realize it was pin and cuff. So I adjusted it only to find that the pins didn't seem to hold the bracelet together, until I looked very carefully on the floor and found the little cuffs. So yeah, pin and cuff works very well, but it's very fiddly, but I managed to sort that out. So just to let you know, that pin and cuffs, and I will say it again, pin and cuffs. So please make sure when you pick it out, you realize you've got your threefold clasp, and it's got this kind of hollowed out section there. I guess that's for cost saving. Seems to fit pretty well. It's a nice sort of snap shut, and with the Casio Edifice logo and Edifice written on the clasp. And as you can see, it's brand new, so there's no scratches or marks yet. So I've got to kind of give it its maiden scratches, if you like, which I always hate. At the moment, I'm with the honeymoon period of it, but yeah, unfortunately, these things will happen. So there you go. The link on your phone, I will put up the app that you need to download. There are several apps in the Play Store, or probably on the Apple Store as well. So I guess pick the best one, but I'll pop up some pictures just to show you the different apps you can have, and I'll post up some pages on the phone to show you how it all works. So coming back to the watch, it's very solid feeling. It's not heavy, but it feels substantial. The bracelet is a little bit rattly, but I think that's because it's brand new, but it's certainly a decent bracelet. I don't know if it's solid steel, but it certainly feels like it. You can adjust every single link on the bracelet, which I think is a great thing, right up to the case. Like I say, most of the watch is highly polished, apart from you have the shoulders are brushed, and it's very, very nicely done brushing. I think Casio now, for this kind of watch, absolutely lead. I don't think there's another watch company, for all the kind of smart. I know Fossil do a hybrid smart watch, and I know Michael Kors do, although it's probably made by Fossil. I think Casio is leading the world in this. Their smart function watches with the G-Shocks and the edifices are absolutely tops. Really, really. I love Casio watches. I've had loads, and I've never been disappointed. I've actually a Casio that I'd reviewed on here a while ago. I sold it on, and I've recently ordered another one because it was just such a good watch. It's the Casio Sapphire Crystal chronograph. It was just such a good watch. It come up again in the sale, and I thought, you know what, I've just got to have one back, because it really is a solid, well-made, bulletproof, quality timepiece. Now, I know these are not Swiss watches with mechanical movements. I appreciate that, and it's probably sacrilege to talk about electronic watches and what have you, but each to their own. And I think I like to have a good looking watch on my wrist, and I think this really does tick every box. It's a really smart looking watch. So what I'm going to do now, I will give you some wrist shots, and then I shall post up some different pictures. I will have loom, blah, 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 and little bits. As you've already seen, I've already put some pictures up of the different apps you can use and how they work. And yeah, so and I'm not going to say those words, let me pop up some wrist shots.